The Tab S7 in 2021. Can your iPad do this? What's up YouTube, Mike here with another video, and today I wanted to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 or S7 Plus because they're essentially the same specs minus the screen and screen size. This is still the best tablet you can get on the Android side and 2021. And in a lot of ways, this is way better than the iPad, which I'll kind of touch on later, but this is not meant to be an iPad comparison. This is just talking about this is still the best tablet you can get in 2021 on Android. Now, today is the Samsung Galaxy Unpacked event, and all the rumors are saying that they're not going to refresh the Tab, at least the Tab S7, so we're not going to get a Tab S8 until probably sometime in 2022 or next year. So because of that fact, and even if they did so happen to release a Tab S8 today, I still think this is a great value just because Samsung has so many good trade-in values, and it's just still the best tablet that you can get in 2021. All right, so this tablet has been out for a while, so I'm not going to go super in-depth on the specs and all that and showing you a bunch of fancy B-roll. I just kind of want to talk about my experience with this and how it's been for me and why I recommend that you get this even so late in its life cycle. As far as the specs go on this thing, you can get it in 4 different colors. This one happens to be the Mystic Black, but you can get Mystic Bronze, Mystic Silver, Mystic Navy, and I think a Mystic White. But you can go on the Samsung website and look, and I'll try and throw a screenshot up. But this comes, you've got a base model, you can get 128 gigabytes of storage. And with the base model, you only get 6 gigs of RAM. So I went with the mid-tier, which is 256 gigabytes of storage. And I got 12 gigs of RAM. Also comes with the S Pen, which I forgot to mention. Now this thing is rocking the Snapdragon 865 Plus. Again, 6 or 8 gigs of RAM. And you can get this all the way up to 512 internal storage. It also has an SD card slot, so you can expand it up to, I think it says 1 terabyte, which I've never seen a 1 terabyte SD card, but I know they're out there. Now this particular model, the Tab S7, has a 120 hertz refresh rate, but this is not an OLED panel. It's an LTPS TFT panel is what it's called, but it still looks great. It's bright, it's vibrant. On mine, as you can see, I got my notes, I put a matte screen protector, which you can kind of see, just kind of helps with the glare, and I kind of like the extra friction that it gives the S Pen. This also has Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.0, so pretty much all the latest and greatest specs you can get here in 2021. Now, if you go with this Plus model, then of course you get the OLED display, which is fantastic. Now, if you were to put these side by side, the S7, S7 Plus, you're definitely going to see a dramatic difference in the display. But at the end of the day, this display is still great. It's still awesome. I went with this over the Plus model just because I wanted a smaller footprint. But other than that, the exact same specs as the S7 Plus. Now, as far as cameras go, this has got a 13 megapixel rear camera. If you were to ever use it, it'll actually shoot 4K video as well. And then you've got a 8 megapixel front-facing camera for video chat and all that. And again, cameras are adequate. Most people don't even use cameras on a tablet, but they're there if you want to use them. Now, also this thing has got a USB Type-C, which you can probably may or may not be able to see on the back, but I'll try and do some B-roll. It's got 4 quad speakers, which are really nice sounding, and you've got a fingerprint sensor on the power button itself, which works first time every time, so it's good. And also, you can do face unlock. It's just not as secure as, you know, something like what Apple uses or anything like that, but it works and it's there if you want to use it instead. Again, this tablet has been out for over a year now, so the specs are out there, the videos have been out there, but I'm just trying to briefly hit it and just touch on my experience. All right, so next I just really quick want to cover price. Now the prices on these things fluctuate all the time, so you're going to have to go to Samsung.com to check it, but they always have fantastic trade-in deals where you can trade in older devices and get quite a bit. But really, you can get this thing anywhere from $400 to, you know, the retail of $700 and something dollars, depending on which configuration you get and what trading you get. So if you've got like a Tab S6 that you want to trade in for this, then you can probably get this thing for about 200 bucks. But again, prices change all the time. Samsung has sales all the time, so you're going to have to go to their website to look. But if you go to the Samsung website and you open Apple's website and you compare this to an iPad Pro, bar none, this is way better value for your money. Again, it comes with the S Pen. I went ahead and got the first party keyboard case. And again, I don't recommend you necessarily buy this keyboard case brand new. So I got this case on Amazon renewed for about 88 bucks, whereas retail it's like 179. So definitely shop around, you can get the deals. But I love this case mostly because of this kickstand, multi-position kickstand, and it's pretty strong, pretty stiff, no issues with it. So really recommend this case. And as far as the keyboard goes, very nice keyboard, smaller trackpad, but it's adequate, it works, it's good enough. And now I've got fairly large hands, and typing on this has actually been pretty darn good, so no issues with that. All right, so real quick, let's get down to how this thing is to actually use. I've been using this now, I think I've had it for about 2 months, and it's just been a joy to use. Whether I'm using it as a tablet or if I put the keyboard on and I use it as a laptop, it works really great. The S Pen, I think, is way better than the Apple Pencil. I just prefer the S Pen. It's got Bluetooth, you can pair it, you can do different gestures, but it's just really nice experience to write on. And again, this comes with the tablet. So when you buy this, you get the S Pen in the box. But really, as far as note-taking goes, and even art, I think this is definitely on Android the best you can possibly get. And your opinion may vary, but I think, in my opinion, this is actually better than the Apple Pencil. Now, as far as using this and the battery life, you're definitely going to get about 8 hours with this. So, you know, obviously if you're doing video editing or doing a long gaming session, the battery life is going to be lower or higher. But for me, it's definitely an all-day battery life. In my opinion, it's comparable to using an iPad as far as the battery goes. So I haven't had any issues with this. Now, if you do happen to drain the battery, it does fast charge. And like I said, even with the screen turned on max and using 120 hertz refresh rate on this all the time, the battery's been more than adequate to get me through a full day. Now back to the comment that I said during my intro, can your iPad do this? Now this is where my favorite feature of all Android tablets, or I should say all Samsung tablets and Samsung flagship phones, and that is Samsung DeX. I've done multiple videos on DeX. You can go back and watch those, and I'll try and remember to throw either an in card or just a little card up here where you can click on it and go watch some videos on DeX if you're not familiar. But it's what DeX is, and what DeX does is it basically gives you a desktop environment on the device itself. So I can bring up DeX on here, or if I plug it into an external monitor, in my case, I have a 34-inch 4K widescreen monitor. When I plug this in, I can bring up DeX on that monitor, and it'll actually output in 4K. And while I'm using DeX, I can also use the tablet as a tablet. So that's what I'm talking about when I say, can your iPad do this? Because no, when you plug an iPad into a monitor, you're able to mirror your iPad in a very crappy aspect ratio where you got these big bars, and all you can do is mirror what's already on your iPad. So what the hell's the point of that? So you've got the same thing on your iPad that you have on the display in a crappy aspect ratio. So this is where this blows the iPad Pro away, hands down, for productivity. So like I said, I can have my tablet plugged in to the monitor, be doing multiple things with DeX, and then I can actually be doing whatever I want on the tablet itself. So when it comes to getting work done, this just crushes the iPad in every single way. And now, just like Apple with their ecosystem, I'm talking about iMessage, AirDrop, you can do the same thing on this. But again, like Apple, where you have to be all in on the ecosystem, you've got to have an iPhone, iPad, or iMac to do those things. Same thing with this. So if you've got a Galaxy phone, Galaxy tablet, then you can do their version of AirDrop, which works really well, and then their version of Messages. So if you use Samsung Messages, same thing. You can send and receive, take calls on this from your phone, and vice versa. So it works really well if you're in that ecosystem. But again, just like Apple, you've got to be in that ecosystem. So if you've got an iPhone and a Galaxy Tab S7, without some workarounds, you're not going to be able to get text or do like their version of AirDrop. But again, for the productivity that you get on this device, especially for the price, I can hands down recommend this definitely over any Android tablet on the market, and I actually recommend this over the iPad. So I've actually gotten rid of all my iPads, so I just use this as far as my tablet goes. But the only iPad I'm actually excited about, which I'll do another video when I get it, is the iPad Mini 6, if all the rumors are true, just because I love the iPad Mini form factor. But so just got a few minor gripes on this device, and it's not necessarily the device as much as the software, and that is with Samsung DeX. Samsung really needs to have a full desktop browser. I mean, sure, you can go to desktop mode on either Samsung's browser, Edge, or Chrome, but just having a dedicated actual desktop browser on this when you're using Samsung DeX will be a game changer. So hopefully in future updates they actually give us that, because to me that would make this device perfect. And secondly, my gripe with this device over the S7 Plus is the display. Like I said, the display on this is fantastic, but I really wish they would have put the same OLED, AMOLED, whatever, the same display that they have on the S7 Plus. I wish they would have put on this, because when you go, say, to Best Buy and you put these side by side, it just blows you away how phenomenal the display on the S7 Plus is. So that would be my gripe, or wish that they would improve. So hopefully when they do release the S8, the smaller one, hopefully it has the same display technology as they put in the larger one, because it's just fantastic when you actually look at the display on the S7 Plus. But really, I mean, those are my only two gripes with this device at all. I think it's a fantastic device. I think Samsung knocked it out of the park. And even this late in 2021, I would hands down recommend this over any tablet currently on the market, with the exception of the S7 Plus. All right, so that was just a quick video. I was trying to keep it brief, not getting too deep into this, just because it's been out there so long. You probably know all the specs. You've probably already seen the videos. I just wanted to give you my recommendation this late in 2021. Like I said, I can still hands down recommend this over any tablet currently on the market as of mid-2021 and probably through the end of the year. It's just, if you're looking to replace your laptop with a tablet, I mean, hands down, this or the S7 Plus is the way to go. I mean, when it comes to productivity, like I've already mentioned, this thing just crushes the iPad Pro. So I know the new iPad has got that M1 chip, but it also costs about almost $2,000 if you max it out, especially when you add the pen and then the Magic Keyboard. It's just kind of pointless in my opinion. But maybe I'll do a video on that, kind of comparing this with the iPad Pro. But really, that's about it on this. So if you like this video, helped you out in any way, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And I'm really trying to make that push to 10,000 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you did. When I look at my YouTube analytics, literally like 90% of my views are people who are unsubscribed. So, I mean, what are you waiting for? It doesn't cost you anything. And always, if you have any additional questions on this, comments, whatever, leave it down below. I'll do my best to respond to it. And if I don't know the answer, I'll try and look it up for you. But as always, I appreciate you guys for watching.